Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Knife Chats with Tobias.
So here we are at part 4 of collecting case knives. What began as a simple question from a viewer of why buy a case knife when a Rough Ryder knife is just as good. I don't know if a person really needs an hour and a half to answer such a question, but apparently that's how long I took to do it. And part 4 really has nothing to do with Rough Ryder knives. I'm looking at my top 5 favorite case knives at this particular moment in time. By the time this airs, I probably have a different top 5 favorite case knives. In any case, hope you enjoy.
Okay, before I go on to my 5 favorite case knives in my collection to date, let me revisit handle covers for a moment. And this really goes beyond case, and I think I've mentioned it a couple times in a couple other videos. If you're looking at collecting traditional pattern knives, and if you're looking for ones that are going to retain their value the best and the ones that will probably go up in value over time, I got to tell you, stag is king. And case knives, they do a beautiful job with stag. They use India sandbar stag. They do use a couple other different varieties of stag, but most of the time their India sandbar stag is what they try to put out. It's quite often it ends up on smaller patterns of knives. This is the Junior Scout. This is the Baby Copperhead. You'll see both of these knives again, and I'll talk about this again and again. But if you're looking for a handle material to collect in case knives, if you don't want to go full-blown crazy prices in the case exotic lineups, but if you're looking for something a little bit more than your typical bone handle, you might want to really consider the case stag knives. They're going to probably be well, first of all, it's just a great handle to begin with. Second of all, yeah, you're paying more for it, but the value is going to be there. And case makes some of the prettiest stag handles I've ever come across on knives. So yeah, yellow Delrin or yellow comp is going to be a lot cheaper, a lot less expensive, but the value on the yellow comp is not going to go up nearly as much as the stag will. Stag almost always demands a higher price later. So with that said, let's move on to my 5 favorite case knives to date. Okay, first of all, I should have probably had a qualifier in there and said my 5 favorite case pocket knives to date, because if I'm going with one of my favorite case knives, it has to be the Army Air Force folding machete. That is will always be one of my top 5 case folding knives, but it's not truly a pocket knife. I do have a video on this knife. I will link it in the description below. Now with that said, let's move on to my top 5 case pocket knives. Okay, let's move the old big boy out of the way and get to the other knives here. Now originally, what I had been looking at are these knives here, and I was going to pick 5 out of these 6, and it was going to be really easy because I just flat out like the saw cut bone on here more than the puzzle pieces here. I like both of these knives. I like the fact that the puzzle pieces kind of reminds me of you know, various causes for autism and such, but the saw cut bone, I just really like it better, and I could easily just pick both of these and say these are two of my favorite knives, and they are. They're definitely two of my favorite knives. But of the Seahorse Whittlers I like the Sawcut bone better. It's the first one I picked up also. So I'm going to go with that as my favorite Sawcut bone. Well, my favorite Seahorse Whittler by Case. Now, I've already decided ahead of time this is my favorite Pocket Hunter by Case, and I really like this pattern. So it's unfortunate that it's one of those knives that comes in the vault, so you just don't see it every year. This one has the Skinner blade and the clip blade. My other one just has a single clip blade, and I do like the single bladed version better, but I like the bone on this one better. So I like the green lizard skin bone on this one. I just like the way it looks, so I went with that one. All of this is cosmetic. Next week, the autumn pocket worn could very well win, but for this week right now, this is the winner. And the large toothpick, well, everyone knows how much I like large toothpicks, so that would have been a winner too. And then these last two are my two knives that are made in stag. This one is one that I just recently got, and well, this is the Junior Scout in stag, and this has been one of my favorite case knives for a long time. So the question is, are these the 5 that I'm going to keep now that I dragged all these other knives out, and I've still got other case knives over there? And the answer is no. I'm actually swapping out 2 of these knives, and I'm kind of surprising myself here, but I'm going to pull out the large toothpick. No doubt one of my favorite case knives, but at the moment another knife trumps that one. And I'm also going to choose a different knife over the stag baby copperhead. Remember also, this is today, my top 5 favorite case knives today, and tomorrow it'll be a different top 5 case knives. So if I were going on eBay today, and both of these knives were up for sale, the one I would be trying to bid on is not the one in stag, because the one in stag has a standard clip blade, and while I do know that more than likely the one with the clip blade will sell quite well anyway, especially considering it's in stag. Man, I do love to go on to these marathon screams about different knives, and even when I'm just talking about how much I like them. So now, how am I choosing my top 5 favorite case knives for today? Basically, I'm thinking, if I were going on eBay and I saw all of these case knives on eBay, which 5 are the ones that I would really try to win today? And that's why I would probably be passing on this one, mainly because it has a clip blade. When I bought it because of the case handles, or of the stag handles, and because I put in a low offer and the guy took it. So it's like, wow, I got it for a steal. Got it for a lot less than what this knife would have cost when it first came out. So that was always pretty cool. But quite frankly, I like the worn clip blade on the root beer bone better. So if I had the option of picking up either one of these knives today, I'd probably grab the one with the worn clip blade over the clip blade, even though this has stag and this has the root beer bone. But I also like the shield on the root beer bone better than the shield on the case stag. And well, neither one of them's a 10 dot, so it really doesn't matter too much on that. So I would probably end up grabbing this instead. So that would be knife number 4 instead of this. Now, why would I pass on a large toothpick? And that's mainly because while I love large toothpicks, when I was going through all of these knives, I saw another one here that I just really kind of think is cool, and that is my little case peanut here with the scissors. And while the scissors are not as good as the scissors that you find on a Victorinox Classic, it's a pretty cool knife. And I know, yeah, it's kind of a pinkish bone and everything. They call it magenta jig bone. It's still just a pretty cool knife, and it's just I kind of like it. So it's also got a little bail down there, so I can easily display it. So that, and also I'm kind of on a small knife kick right now, so that's probably the one I would pick over the large toothpick right now, is the magenta bone case peanut with the scissors. So at this point in time, this day, that would be my 5 favorite case knives. Like I said, today. Tomorrow, you might find the Wall Drug Junior Sod Buster thrown back in there, or you might find this black synthetic Stockman with the punch blade thrown in there, CV. So, but for right now, those are it. My top 5, my 5 favorite case knives, and it's purely based on aesthetics and what just kind of floats my boat at the moment.
And so this concludes this 4-part ramble on trying to answer a simple viewer question of why buy a case knife when a Rough Ryder knife is just as good. First of all, I suppose I could have answered that question in about 30 seconds by simply saying, well, the case knife is a more valued knife among collectors, so if you're buying it to collect, you definitely should lean towards the case knives. But if you're looking for something that is just for throwing in your pocket and using, then maybe that Rough Ryder is just the knife for you. Other people will differ. In any case, I hope you enjoyed the ramble, and now you have a little bit of insight in my thought process when I get a question. It would be nice if I could just stay focused and answer the question, but for some reason I tend to ramble on. In any case, hope you enjoyed it, and talk to you again soon on something other than case.
let me take just a second to thank you once again for dropping by and spending a few minutes here at Knife Chats with the Bias. I really do appreciate it, and I do appreciate any comments that you leave. So please remember to give me that thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up and running. Thanks again for dropping by. Really do appreciate your time here.